off as their guys are ready to do battle between the Green Bay Packers and the Minnesota Vikings. That'll be taken in the end zone. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line.
And on the ground they go with a running back. And he'll work his way across the 30 to the 32. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be second down.
Next, the receivers helped spread the defense out, and they were able to come through with a slashing run.
Well, to that point, it's going to be interesting to see the personnel chess match as this one progresses.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Can they continue to create running lanes out of passing sets? And if so, it's going to be a long day for the defense.
Now a handoff looking right, and that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. It's a loss of 2, now third down. Third play of this opening drive as they're looking at a 3rd and 3. To throw is Rodgers. Looking deep for Adams. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked up by the former first-rounder Trey Waynes. And he'll take this across midfield and inside the 45. Last week, somehow they won. He threw all those picks, but they still won. Here, opening drive, unfortunately, he picked up where he left off.
Partner, you get a lot of extra patience when you find a way to win despite you making mistakes. But starting out again this game, that patience is going to wear thin really quick. And I think the guys on the defensive side of the ball will be the first ones to let him know that's got to stop.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be brought down at about the 42. David Amerson able to bring him down.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. And a nice carry there of 15 yards. Well, one unit I know you want to watch is that offensive line. If they keep clearing holes like that, it could be a long night defensively.
No doubt about it, because when they are in sync, as we're seeing so far, where that continuity is there, and you can see that they're playing off of each other while controlling the defensive front linebackers, you're exactly right. It could be a very long night for the defense because someone's going to work for some big yardage.
And he'll be dropped at the 23 after a pickup of about 4.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down, a very solid gain on that play.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. You were telling me this yesterday. This is exactly what they want to do on the opening drive, establish the ground game.
Yeah, remember our conversation. We were talking about what one of the GMs in the league has told me repeatedly. It's a big man's game, and it's not necessarily size. He's talking about playing some big boy football. Line up, get leverage, knock people back, and establish the run early.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to work this one down to about the 5. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1. Pretty effective run there, and now they can start to smell that end zone.
Pound the rock. Make sure you use your O-line to set the tone of dominance and physicality, and pound the rock.
Hurry up, here we go. Green 39, green 39.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he will take this one into the end zone for a Viking touchdown. A great play there. Touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Vikings have taken a first-quarter lead. And this one through the uprights and good. Carlson now to kick this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. The Packers offense now heading back out onto the field. Rodgers will bring the pack up with a 1st and 10 at their own 24. Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. Anthony Barr in there to drop him, and it'll be a loss of about 8. So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on 2nd down. From the gun, it's Rodgers. Flush to his right. On the run, he'll let this go deep. Trying to get it to Adams, but it's intercepted. Picked up by Anderson Leho. And he'll return this ball across midfield to the 47-yard line.
Well, they didn't exactly show patience there, did they? Just down a score, they come out firing right away and compound things by throwing an interception. They put their defense in a really tough spot.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down. Tough running there. That's a hard-earned 4 yards.
Yeah, those are the unsung kind of runs. They don't fill up the stat sheet, but they do set you up in good position on 2nd down.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And this time not as successful as he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to be met at about the 43. Just a yard on the run there, and that's going to bring us to a 4th down.
What an advantage having an elite guy in the middle of the defensive line, because not only does he take up the space and let the linebackers run free, but he can also make plays himself, as we just saw there.
He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. The Packers offense now, they get ready to head back onto the field. And it's been a miserable start for them offensively. Obviously, 2 drives, 2 interceptions.
And this is where you have to know your quarterback and know how you actually have to reach him. Do you do it with a little bit of humor? Maybe you break the ice a little bit, like, hey, didn't we practice in that colored jersey all week? Not the one that you're throwing it to? Or maybe you have to be stern with him. But whatever it's going to take to get the message, it has to be done. He's putting the game in jeopardy.
And he will lose yardage on the play, back at his own 19-yard line.
I don't think any of us were surprised that they decided to start this drive on the ground after the last 2 drives ended in interceptions.
Unfortunately, though, not a lot going on that first play.
Yeah, I think the anticipation was felt also by the defense.
Man open, that's Marquez Valdez-Scantling. And he'll get this one way up just shy of the 45-yard line. That one goes for 24 yards. And they'll run it here. And he's got it across the midfield stripe and into Viking territory. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on 2nd and short.
Hey, 626.
Rodgers to throw on second down. Looking deep downfield. And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, Packers. Marquez Valdez-Scantling, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Packers are within an extra point of tying this thing up. Crosby connects on the extra point, and we are tied at 7. So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. And now out comes Minnesota. And, you know, certainly a lot of football left to be played. We're not into December yet, but right now where we stand, they're first place in their division. Looking good, looking to be a threat come January.
And let's think about what every team has in their goals, all right? Number 1 goal is what? Make the playoffs. Number 2 goal is win your division. Number 3 goal, and the biggest goal, I think, is to be the highest seed possible that you can be heading into the playoffs so that you can have as many home games as possible to try and get you to the Super Bowl.
And right now fighting for every win possible to try to at least secure home field for the wild card and or divisional round. And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. They'll run it now out of the gun. Looking to find a lane, but he can't. Reined in at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. He makes a wonderful play there off the corner, protecting his side of the field.
Oh, that reminds me of the great defenses of old, doesn't it? The Pittsburgh Steelers, Steel Curtain. They would not let you get on the field if you could only do one thing. You had to be a complete guy, and you had to be able to tackle.
Now, I know I've said this before, but you know I wasn't alive when the Steel Curtain was playing. I know them, but I just want to let you know I wasn't alive.
I'm going to keep peppering that in there, and one of these days you're going to think that you were.
The first down line at the 34 here on 3rd down.
All right, here we go. Green 39. Green 39.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be taken down as that will take us to the end of the first quarter of play. Back now with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Second quarter begins with the Vikings holding the football. They are, however, facing a 4th down situation. Online, but off the crossbar, no good. A long-range effort denied 3 points at the very end. All things considered, a pretty good kick, just cruel punishment there to be denied by the crossbar.
If you're going to hit from that distance, sometimes you're going to need a little luck, and unfortunately for him, this time, the break goes against him.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And very little running room there. He did get a couple up to the 49.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
Now Rodgers throwing on 2nd down. Over the middle, that's caught by Adams. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. A very solid gain of 27. From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line.
158. Here we go. 58. 319.
Now they try the right side here. 11 more yards that go around, a 1st down as well.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
A first red zone opportunity now for the Packers. They have a 1st and 10 at the 13-yard line. Now they'll run it on the toss. It was Duke Dawson on the tackle, the second-round pick in 2018.
Sometimes play calls boil down to philosophy. You know you're facing one of the top 10 units against the run in the NFL. So do you decide to keep smashing against them, or do you decide to throw the ball here?
Jumbo! Hey, you got three there. Zoom.
Looking to throw on second down. Rodgers. And Rodgers intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by Anderson Aho. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. Well, we know this defense has athleticism. Spots like that prove us right.
I love the way that you spotlighted the athleticism, because you and I both know the best athletes on the field, they play on defense.
I don't know. I was a kicker. You got to remember that now.
Come on.
Fine. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. And last time, decent field position through the pick 6. Obviously costly.
But they can't afford to just bunker in now. All right, good field position means go ahead and attack on offense. Try and press the advantage a little bit. They just have to be better with the football on this possession.
So that didn't bother you too much last time?
No, because it's exactly what you're supposed to do. You can't have good field position, not try to take advantage of it. Sometimes the defense makes a good play, too.
Here we go. 58. All right. Right. Kelly. Don't let Kelly. Go. Here we go. 58. Jack 300.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he'll work this one up to about the 38. A good run there on 1st down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2.
I know the toss play begins with the guy taking the snap and turning around and tossing it to the runner. But where the real intrigue is, can they seal the edge, whether it's an offensive tackle or a tight end, in the direction they want to run the football? If they do that, that's the result that you get, that type of a gain. If they don't, oftentimes it's not a very successful play.
Now a handoff looking right. Looking for a cutback lane, but nothing there as he's met at the line of scrimmage. Eric Kendricks in on the tackle.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
On play action, Rodgers looking deep for Adams. And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. Picked off by Mike Hughes. And this would have been returned to right around the 38-yard line. If you combine last week and this week, he's got a hat trick going because he had 2 interceptions a week ago.
He's seeing the ball so well and understanding where receivers are and positioning. I mean, just watching him work with such great technique and paying it off by actually catching the ball when he has a chance, he's helping his team in a huge way.
And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask. Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post, because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
So the face mask, quite a blessing there as they'll start out of harm's way with a 1st and 10. And they'll go on the ground. And he stopped immediately there. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down.
Detroit! Detroit!
Two minutes remain here in the first half. More from Minneapolis after this.
Four down.
And they'll go ground game here with the tailback. And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. Give him 12 yards on that one. It earns him a fresh set of downs.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense, because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
And they'll go with the ground attack here. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. 12 yards on back-to-back plays there, and that's another first down.
This guy's well on his way now to a big game on the ground. It's another good run there. Puts him over the century mark in yardage, and we're still in the second quarter.
Now they try the right side here. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
He's had a big game tonight, and while no one's going to be overly concerned about that last play, you also know that the offense coordinator does not want to see that happen again. They want to get back to doing what they've been doing all game long.
Here we go. Here we go now. Green 39. Green 39.
And now they'll throw with Allen. Steps away to his left. Good coverage downfield led to him taking off, picking up the first down on a 13-yard run.
Man, defensively, that hurts. They got him out of his rhythm. They had him hemmed in, but somehow he was able to tuck it away and get away for a gain.
They'll try and run for it on first and goal. And he'll get in. Touchdown, Minnesota. A great effort there with his second touchdown here in this first half. And the Vikings are going to add on to their lead. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And it's now 21-7. Carlson now to kick this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. The Packer offense now ready to get back onto the field. And the ball backed way up. So thinking with this amount of time on the clock, probably just sit on it, and we'll see these two teams go to the lockers.
Yeah, I don't think you want to overthink it in this situation. Either side of the ball. Just go ahead and finish up the half and get on out and talk about it.
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And he's going to lose yardage here. Back to his own 18. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. A final shot before half for Rodgers. Incomplete. So we've reached halftime here in Minnesota with the Vikings on top as we send you down to Orlando where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach, the Vikings have to like their position. They've got the lead. They get this football as well as we are back and underway for the second half. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line just across the 25. Out come the Vikings. They'll have it first on offense as we begin the third. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, the fact you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
It's still third quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
And he'll be tackled at about the 35. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. It's an 8-yard pickup and leads to a new set of downs.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Detroit! Detroit! All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to take this one up only to about the 44-yard line. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Brandon, we talk all the time about those hybrid players, guys who could do more than one thing. And I think if you're playing strong safety in the NFL today, you are a true hybrid. Part linebacker, part cover guy.
And coming up, sticking his nose in the mess there and making a nice play defensively. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll only get a yard, maybe 2, up to the 46.
Brandon, one thing about blitzes, they really confuse offensive linemen at times. And what you have to do is lock in on the guy right in front of you. If you don't, you saw the end result. Defensive tackle ended up making the play.
And before they can run this third down play, we're going to get a timeout. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this third quarter. Play action, Allen. That's caught at the 25. Touchdown, Vikings. A big play there. His 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Vikings find a way to stretch their lead. Always important to get the first score of the second half. Now you start to pull away a little bit and get some breathing room going.
And now we find out about the fortitude of the group that's behind, because they were counting on getting into the game a little bit more, right? Maybe they get the first score. That doesn't happen. It looks almost insurmountable, but it's not. Let's see how hard they play the rest of the game.
So here are the Packers now. They get set for their first possession of half number 2. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second half?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology.
And he will not make it back to the line of scrimmage as he's going to be taken down. Sheldon Richardson able to collapse the pocket and drop him for a loss of a yard. The sack cost him only a yard. It's 2nd and 11. Rodgers going to throw. The left side throw complete to Adams. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face third down.
One of the things you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Buying time to his left. And he took the contact as he was throwing it, and the ball drops incomplete.
And we're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off.
offense is not leaving the field. They're going to stay out and go for it on 4th and 3.
Hey, check 26. Hey, check 26. Yeah, Liz.
They do go for it. It's Rodgers. It's complete. Swings it out to his running back. But he will not get away. He stops short of the marker. Boy, a curious decision to go for it. Doesn't pan out. And the Vikings, they have the football now in excellent field position. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down.
Watch it now, Barney.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to get this one down to the 30. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Nice job by that defensive front there to hold him to a short gain on 1st down. Well played, I must say.
Yeah, only getting 1 yard. There was no room to run.
Here we go.
On 2nd down, here's Allen. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. 15 yards down to the 15 and a 1st down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get about 3 just outside the 10, stopped at the 11.
3rd quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Now let's go.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get this one down to about the 10-yard line. Just a 1-yard pickup there, and it's going to make it 3rd down at 6.
Well, you know that old expression, it's not my night. It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. And no move to get the offense off the field. They'll stay put on 4th and 1.
Now let's go. 3-19. 3-19. All right, now look at 56.
Needing the tough yards, they run it with their fullback. And he's not even going to come close to picking up the 1st. They stop him right at the line of scrimmage.
Partner, when you see a running play stop short like that, you just know that the defensive front, they won the battle of leverage and created the push back into the opposing backfield.
And for the offensive coordinator, whether you had 1 yard to go or 20 yards to go on 4th down, now you're probably saying, oh, maybe I should have passed it, right?
Yeah, hindsight is always 20/20.
On 1st down, Rodgers. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off at the 14. And fantastic field position has them just outside the 10 at the 11-yard line of the red zone. And on the ground they go with a running back. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
I think we can safely say that those types of plays are the backbone of this offense. We know not every run's going to be a big hitter, but you know they'll take that type of result on each and every attempt.
And he gets him a little bit closer. He takes it from the 6 inside the 5 to the 4.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
The Vikings on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This time it's 3rd and 3.
We got 3, fellas. We got 3.
What a spin. And he will take this one into the end zone for a Viking touchdown. As his guys are in for 6. And the Vikings capitalize on the short field as they take it in for 6. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And that'll increase their lead to 28. Carlson now to kick this one away.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. Now trotting out there, the Packers getting ready to go. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is
weaving through traffic, and now he's free. The 30. Touchdown, Packers. A great play there. 79 yards. And the Packers make some inroads here on that deficit. And that run massively increased his production in this game, and now he's over 100 yards.
And break out your calculator, partner, because his yards per carry went up significantly, right? Big-time jaunt all the way to the end zone.
Crosby on now to kick it away. That'll be taken in the end zone. Now the Vikings offense works their way back onto the field. They built up that lead at intermission, and they're just continuing to pour it on right now, aren't they?
Locked into a really good groove right now. I don't know if it's just the play calling. I know the execution is really, really sharp right now, and all the playmakers are doing exactly what you expect. They're making plays, and right now, defense has no answer and no chance of catching up.
Yeah, they're just looking to turn anywhere for a stop defensively. First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
Allen off the play fake. Escaping the pressure right. Now he's going to throw it back. Oh, wide open. Complete. They give him a gain of 37.
Looked like the defense put pretty good pressure on him, but he's able to flush out to his right to try and evade people. On the run, had to get on his horse. Still accurately throws a nice pass for a first down.
So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. Allen now on 1st down. And his throw here's incomplete.
And he still doesn't have a catch. We're into the second half. I think it's a little bit of a surprise to me, but that was one he should have caught.
Absolutely. That was his best opportunity right there. He dropped it. Allen again here on 2nd and 10. Flushed out right. Now he's going to throw deep rights. This is caught inside the 15. And he'll be out of bounds about a half to a full yard shy of the 5. They give him a gain of 37. Still throwing the football here, even with the big lead.
Yeah, I know you and I came up in a different era. We think about sportsmanship and all that. Other people think about fantasy points and getting their numbers. That's all they care about right now.
Now a throw to the end zone on 1st down, but it winds up incomplete.
When you got your backs in the shadow of your goal line, you've got to be physical in that situation because there's not a whole lot of space, not a lot of wild plays that can be run there.
And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. A great effort there. His 3rd touchdown of the game, number 9 on the season. And the Vikings are going to add on to their lead. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And that'll increase their lead to 28. Carlson now to kick this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And in hindsight, probably should have stayed where he was, as he'll only get back to the 16-yard line. The Packers offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And they hit the home run last drive. One play on the ground all the way to the house. Now the defense, maybe they're expecting a run here.
Partner, I love your description because when we talk about hitting the home run, we're usually thinking about a passing play, aren't we? Something in the air, deep ball. But how about them just taking it big-time jaunt? Now if you're coming back out, now they've established this run game, the play-action pass could very well be open.
The Vikings after it, and they get there for the sack. Anthony Barr able to run him down for a loss of a yard.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. On second down, here's Rodgers. And now here's another interception. Picked off at the 20. And that pick just sets him up beautifully right down near the goal line.
I remember being in a defensive meeting back when I was in college, and our defensive coordinator says, we're going to call this be who you are defense. D linemen, you play the run. Linebackers, be aware of anything. And secondary, you play the pass. That way, you're all set, ready for whatever they put out there.
They'll try and run for it on first and goal. And he'll get in. Touchdown, Minnesota. A great play there. Taking it in. And the Vikings capitalize on this short field as they take it in for 6. Carlson now to kick this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. Rodgers will break the huddle and bring the pack up first and 10 at their own 24. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. He finds Randall Cobb with a completion. And they work this well upfield across the 45. A good pickup there at 22. Rodgers now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's first and 10. Now Rodgers. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by the linebacker, Eric Kendricks. And they take possession of the football and have it at the 36-yard line. So from the 36 now, first and 10.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Detroit! Detroit!
So after the INT, it's Allen. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. And that one falls incomplete. Looked like he might have had position there, but he couldn't hold on at second down. Fourth quarter, you've got the big lead. If you're coaching, Charles, you still taking shots like that downfield?
I'd be a little more concerned with running some clock and making sure you're taking care of the lead because you keep flinging it.
He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked up by Josh Jones. And his guys are going to take over at the 39-yard line. Now they get a fourth quarter pick. A little something to hang their hat on, I guess.
Okay, so let's face it, though. Who's happy about this play? Fantasy guys, right?
Yeah.
The analytics will tell you one thing or another. That's a bad play on one hand, a good play on the other. But it's all about the fantasy points here.
Yeah, because this ball game is over. And that one good for 16, and the drive will continue.
Boxing. Check.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. And he showed off the athletic juke. Good little gain there. Not a whole lot of real estate, but a nice carry.
Partner, I remember a coaching friend of mine used to tell his running backs before games, make sure you run and jog with your offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking when those big behemoths start to create space for you up front. He did a pretty good job of just following those guys through there for a nice explosive run.
To throw, it's Rodgers. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Randall Cobb, the intended receiver. And that takes us from second to third down.
Brandon, at least there's one bright side to that incompletion.
What's that?
It wasn't an interception.
Wow. You're a nice guy. That was kind of savage. But correct. No pick, just incomplete then. And he will get this into the end zone. Touchdown, Green Bay. A great effort there. His second touchdown of the night. And the Packers are able to cash in for 6. Extra point up and good by Crosby. And that will shave one more off this lead. Crosby on now to kick it away. And the Vikings now heading onto the field. The outcome of this one, well, we know who's going to win it. It's just all window dressing at this point. Got me thinking, what's the biggest blowout that you've been a part of as a player, broadcaster?
Well, I'm not going to go to the player part because when I think blowout...
Because you won every game as a player.
No. I think about being blown out. And no one wants to go back to those memories. But, when I was calling college football, I saw a game that, a team put 70. I actually saw that happen twice. A team put 70 on their opponent. And in the NFL in the 2017 season, I saw one of those changing of the guard games where a team that hadn't been very good before now was dominating and kicking around a team who had been ruling their division.
And that's when you earn your paycheck, As the analyst, you got to fill that time.
You've got to know what's going on out there and how it all happened.
Well, obviously, that begs the question, what game was it?
That was Seattle hosting Los Angeles, the Rams.
Yeah.
Their second meeting of the season, and the Rams turned it around from the first one and blew out the Seahawks.
Throwing is Allen on third. And incomplete here on third down. Despite the lead here in the fourth, they're still taking shots.
Not content to sit on this lead at all. And to me, it raises the question of what's right in this game nowadays. Do you sit on the ball and run it because you have enough of a lead? Or do you try and extend it because you always feel like the other team can come back?
Extend it. Have some fun. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Hey, 50.
Rodgers now on first down. He's going to air one out. And it drops down incomplete. Thought he might have had it. Instead, second down.
Got to be wary of throwing an interception here because the defense knows they're going to get tested deep. That's why they're going to put a couple of extra guys back there to try and prevent that.
Yeah, late in the fourth quarter here, trying to preserve the lead. On play action. Now Rodgers. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. Jimmy Graham, the intended receiver. And now it's third down. Definitely desperation time. This just looks like, hey, throw it down there. Hope that your guy can make a play.
You want him to make a play, but if not, maybe you get a pass interference call. And you know in the NFL, that's a spot foul. You get all that yardage. That would be a big play.
And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
We've seen this quite a few times in this game. Offensive line unable to keep leverage, unable to keep people away, facing a lot of pressure. Fortunate just to get rid of it.
One of the reasons they're down is that inability, though, to stop the pressure. We saw another example of it there. A critical one here if they're going to have any shot at this thing. So they'll go for it on fourth down.
319! 319! Yeah, live.
Now Rodgers got to have this one. And now here's another interception. Picked off by the Pro Bowler, Anthony Barr. And they'll start out with great field position at the 47-yard line in enemy territory. Throwing on first down is Allen. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he's got this down to the 35. They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains.
And this is why trying to cover the angle route is so difficult. Anyone playing the linebacker position, when they see a running back out of the backfield widen, because he heads towards the flat first, oftentimes you...
Looking for the tight end, Olsen, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Josh Jones. And his guys are going to take over at the 21-yard line. Well, they're not making it easy on themselves here down the stretch. 2 picks now in the fourth quarter trying to hang on to that lead.
Talk about keeping someone in the game. Instead of being able to shut the door, it's still cracked open because they can come back on you now. The only people who are really happy about those picks, any fantasy team that has this defense.
Time for a break. We'll come back and wrap up garbage time after this. After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. To throw is Rodgers. Looking to throw on 2nd down. Got an open man. It's Valdez-Scantling. And he'll get this one way up just shy of the 45-yard line. That one goes for 24 yards. Now a play fake here on 1st down. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
Trying to get that one to his tight end, and they've been trying to get the ball to him, but as of yet, unable to successfully complete one. But you know, there's usually a nice comfort zone in throwing to the tight end. Great sight lines, usually right in the middle of the field.
Rodgers again here on 2nd and 10. He's going to let it fly. And my goodness, another interception. Duke Dawson picks it. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. So that one will be accepted. He's up past the 35-yard line. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. That'll leave them with just one remaining in this 4th quarter of play. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. And they'll go on the ground. And he'll push his way up to about the 44 here. Kevin King coming up from the secondary to make the play.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
Being chased out left. And they will not get the connection there. It's incomplete.
So this is what happens when you throw interceptions. That confident veneer that you have, it's chipped away a little bit. Maybe a little bit gun-shy throwing it around.
Yeah, underthrowing him there, and you're right. Those interceptions may be in the back of his mind. On play action, Allen. Now he's going to throw deep back over the middle. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. Now the Packers get set to go. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride?
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, "Who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time." But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
And now here's another interception, picked up by Mike Hughes. Look at this, and he's going to score. It's a Viking touchdown. Defensively, they've had their way in this one. That pick six makes that scoreboard even more lopsided.
I remember talking with a guy in the league, and I said, "What do you do when the game's like this? You know, it's pretty much over. You ready to go to the bench and hang out?" He said, "Oh, heck no. I want to stay on the field. I might get some stats. I might get a pick or two."
You like being out there at the end of these wide margins.
When they have to throw it, that gives you more opportunities to go get it.
So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. Very short kick. This will be taken by one of the up men. The Green Bay offense now about ready to take possession here. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest.
don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Yeah, use that as ammo going forward. It's caught at the 10. And they just took a timeout with 2 seconds to go. This one obviously decided. Not sure they needed to take it, but we'll take it with them. Well, that didn't take long. One play, and we're already looking at a first and goal situation.
Hey, check 26.
One final try now for Rodgers. Defenders giving chase, but I don't think they're going to get there. 30. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. So a pick 6 there out of the nickel package. They went with 5 DBs.
Almost becoming the base package in the NFL is the nickel. Hard to throw against. That was demonstrated one more time. A pick 6 going the other way.
Now the final act of this victory, the extra point. Oh, it's a fake. They'll try and throw for it. Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's Sims. And they are just not going to let up as he is into the end zone here for 2 more. Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feel like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for the Vikings, the win will move them to 7-2 now on the year. And they will hit the road next week for a date with the New Orleans Saints. Meanwhile, for Green Bay, the turnaround hasn't materialized as they fall to 2-7. And they'll look to regroup next week as they head to MetLife Stadium to take on the New York Giants. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports.
Life after death. I made the sacrifice and super duper fly. Ain't no half stepping, see you at the crossroads.
Money over on my install. Here lies them getting paid, but never take a loss on my install. Only take a when I'm dead. I be gang 3 times on my install. Been cradle to the grave. Now your favorite rapper name on the install. Too late, you already dead.
It was written in the children's story. Their life's a so what you want? Every day I struggle with it. Only God could tell me slipping. I'm infinitely big through the genesis. Dead presidents, drop a gem on there. Me on earth, these the last days. Throw your get money, quiet storm, have it dogs. For the cream, renegade. For the money, only green is the